So today, we're going to dive into an all-in-one human resource system called Hirely. We're going to break down exactly what it is, see how it works, and talk about the big problems it's really built to solve for businesses that are growing. But first, let me ask you something, especially if you've ever had to manage people. Does your current HR process feel a little bit like this? You know, a complete maze of spreadsheets for all your employee data, endless email chains just to hire one person, and then that stressful manual payroll calculation you have to do every single month? It usually boils down to these three classic headaches, right? You've got employee information scattered all over the place, payroll is this nerve-wracking process that's just begging for errors, and your recruitment feels like a black hole where you just know great candidates are getting lost. You know what it is? It's chaos.
Okay, but what if you could swap out that confusing maze for just a single, clear path? Well, this is exactly where Hirely comes in. It positions itself as that all-in-one solution that's designed to bring a little bit of order to all that chaos.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, Hirely is a self-hosted platform. Now that's a big deal because it means you actually own and control your own data. And it's built for what they call 360-degree HR management. The whole idea is to handle every single step of an employee's journey with your company, from the day they apply to the day they retire, all inside one system.
So let's start that journey right at the very beginning, with the first big challenge every single company faces, finding and hiring the right people. How does Hirely make this whole process a little bit smoother?
Well, it all starts with how you look to the outside world, your employer brand. Instead of just another generic job post, Hirely lets you build a really clean professional careers page. This is the very first thing potential hires see, and it lets them browse all your open roles and apply right there, through your own portal.
And this is how you solve that whole lost in email problem. Instead of applications just piling up in an inbox, they flow into this visual Kanban pipeline. You can see every single candidate, see exactly what stage they're in, from applied to screening to interview, and you can move them along with a really simple drag and drop.
Now, this is where having everything in one place really becomes powerful. Their resume, the interview feedback, evaluation scores, it's all right there. And that means you're making hiring decisions based on actual, structured data, not just a gut feeling. And that leads to way fairer and, frankly, smarter hiring. And this transition is just awesome. So you've made the decision, you've found your person, now there's no need to start all over again with mountains of paperwork. You just click one button and all that application info instantly turns into a brand new employee profile. That whole administrative headache of onboarding, yeah, it's pretty much gone.
All right, let's move on. The person is officially hired. Now what? How does Hirely help you manage the day-to-day life of that employee once they're part of the team?
It gives you a complete digital employee file. Just think of it as the one single source of truth for every person in your company. Their personal details, their contract, important documents, job history, even the company assets they have, like a laptop or a phone. It's all organized and accessible right here. No more digging through dusty filing cabinets. Now let's talk about what is often the most stressful HR task there is, payroll. Hirely makes a really bold promise here. The goal is to get rid of the manual grunt work and, more importantly, the mistakes that always seem to come with it. And here's how that works. On the left, you see the start of the payroll run. But because the system already knows about attendance and leave, all it takes is one click to get the result you see on the right, a fully processed payroll. Salaries, deductions, taxes, it's all calculated automatically. This saves an incredible amount of time and cuts down on human error. And the whole process ends with this, a nice, clean, detailed payslip for every single employee. They can see exactly how their pay was calculated, from their salary and any allowances, right down to their tax deductions. You know, that kind of transparency is absolutely key for building trust with your team. So, we've covered hiring and the daily management stuff. But Hirely is also meant to be a strategic tool. So let's take a look at how it helps you see the bigger picture by turning all this HR data into insights you can actually use. This is basically the view from Mission Control. For a CEO or a manager, these dashboards are command central. On the left, you've got your key HR metrics, like total employees and contract status. And on the right, the ATS dashboard gives you your entire recruitment funnel at a glance. It's just a super quick visual way to check the health of your organization. And you can dive deeper too. Visual reports just like this one can show you the demographic breakdown of your whole workforce in a second. And understanding who makes up your team, well, that's really the first step to building a more diverse and effective organization. The report center is where you can really get into the nitty-gritty. Do you want to analyze your turnover rate or understand your payroll costs by department? How about measuring if your training programs are actually working? The data's all there, just ready for you to turn it into an actionable report.
Okay, so we've seen what Hirely does, but let's be honest, it's a crowded market out there for HR tools. So what makes this one different? Let's wrap up by looking at its key advantages.
Here are the 5 big ones. First, it's a one-time purchase, not a monthly subscription, which is a huge deal for managing costs. Second, because it's self-hosted, you have complete control over your sensitive employee data. Third, it's all integrated from hiring to payroll. Fourth, it's designed to be installed in like 1 minute. And finally, you get support directly from the developers who actually built the thing.
And that really brings us to the final and most important question. The whole idea behind a system like Hirely isn't just about having better software. It's about shifting your focus. By automating all those tedious tasks, it frees you up to do what really matters: lead, develop, and actually support your people.